Nintendo opened up the show yesterday with a brand new trailer for the DLC expansion Side Order for Splatoon 3, and it was full of some weird things, and barely gave us a glimpse as to what to expect from this mode. Now, we don't know a whole lot of details simply due to the fact that the DLC is not coming until the beginning of next year, but there was a lot of stuff here to talk about for sure, especially compared to the reveal trailer. There's some very strange things happening throughout this trailer, and I'm going to try my best to try to decipher what the heck is going on, because I think there's more details hidden beneath the seams than you first realized. Thank you so much for tuning in. Odds are you love Splatoon 3 just like me and want to see more information with Side Order, so all you gotta do is leave a like and subscribe and you'll be updated on everything. Lots of you watching this video right now are not yet subscribed, so it'll only take a quick second. Drop that like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in, but let's jump into the video. First thing that I want to make the connection with right now is there seems to be tons of connections to that of the Octo expansion, the Splatoon 2 DLC. Odds are this is Agent 8 or a new Agent 8 in that matter. Lots of the enemies and factory settings of these stages and characters in this DLC remind me a lot of everything from the Octo expansion, and I'll get into that more as we continue to get through this thing. Now, our Octoling seems to be partnered by some Pearl-themed robot. She even has her crown and her face in the front, which is a little weird, not 100% sure what's going on here. They seem to be standing in the Inkopolis Square from Splatoon 2, the main hub world, and it's full of nothing but white coral and shades of white on all the buildings and structures. You can also see yellow LED lights going up the side of the giant tower. What looks to be a new set of double doors to get into the tower. Now, my theory is the tower itself is going to be how we get from world to world, and we have to make it to the top of the tower in order to defeat whoever is doing this to this world. As we start to run towards the tower, you can also see metal gates on some of the signs and also yellow lines coming off of them, including some weird twirly tadpole-like things floating in the sky and flying towards the character. Continuing on my theory of moving up the tower, we see the pair reach an elevator, and someone is in the elevator waiting for them. This is Act, which was a promising up-and-coming DJ known as Deadfish in Splatoon 2, and was sanitized by Commander Tartar, losing her free will. He tells Pearl that her and Marina go way back and chooses to help the two on their adventure. Now, just like from Splatoon 2 with her in-game art, her hat actually references a symbol of what could be just an octopus, but it also looks a lot like Commander Tartar, which would make sense considering the one that actually sanitized her. Act gives you a color chip and tells you to put it into the palette. It looks like each floor you go up is just a level. Like in the Deep Sea Metro, it was just full of levels instead of worlds. And we can see that we are on the 15th floor, and next is the 16th floor. To the left, it looks like tons of different options that we can choose before going into the stage, and each one being a certain difficulty. The first one is easy at spiraling slope floor, the second one being normal called exposed winding floor, and the third one being hard called sitting duck valley floor. It also shows a certain amount of coin reward for picking that difficulty, and it gets higher obviously if you pick the hardest difficulty, and there seems to be some symbol on the far left, and I can't really make out what the heck this is supposed to mean. Maybe the mission entirely changes depending on what difficulty you pick, and maybe this symbol shows exactly what you're going to be doing in that mission. So it's not the same mission as you go in. You can play the same mission 3 different times and it's going to change depending on the difficulty, which would be pretty cool. Now we can see 3 different types of color chips here, a red one, a blue one, and a green one, and they all have some different perk to them. The red one is splash damage, the blue one is run speed up, and the green one is drone splat bomb. It looks like depending on the mission, you'll get some new color chip, or you'll have to use a specific color chip for each mission, but we can see the splash damage one shows it goes from 160% to 190%. And it says below increases damage dealt by explosives. We then see a second menu kind of giving us more of an explanation for the chips. We can see that the red ones are power chips. As you can see, there's ink damage, splash damage, and main firing rate. And you can see that maybe if you collect all these chips, you can level it up to the max, as there's level up bars as well. You can see the purple ones are for support like Ink Saver main, the orange ones are for range such as splash radius, and the blue ones are for mobility such as the swim speed up. I guess each floor has a certain amount of common tones that you can find. And this one on the 16th floor has common tones of light green and purple. Now, we did see what dark green was, as it stated drone splat bomb. So that tells me that it's going to be stuff to do with a drone. Whether it's a Sheldon drone or it's Pearl in this game, as we do see scenes of the Octoling using the Pearl drone. What about the light green chips? Well, if you look at the top left, once again, it shows some symbols as to what they do. We know the purple symbol is based off of support like the previous scene where we saw it was ink saver, so we can actually see this light green one and it shows some type of ball with a question mark that's flying through the air. I don't know if this is going to allow us to throw certain bombs like splat bombs or suction bombs in that matter, or if it's just some type of mystery item that they grant us, maybe giving us some type of temporary special. It looks like we can fill this palette with these color chips until eventually we run out of space, so we have to mix and match different colors and pretty much make our own skill tree based on what attributes we want more of, and pretty much like a perk system. Now, this is called Pearl's palette, maybe just because she's the one that gives you this and has you put your chips into her palette, but it also shows you some more things that's going on with these symbols. It shows the character with two new dualies that kind of look like they're dolphins based on the shape of the dualies, and you can see a curling bomb along with the Reef Slider special that's equipped, or at least for this particular mission. And then with the Pearl drone, you can see it has a splat bomb, which once again could be what that drone bomb thing meant on the dark green color chip. So maybe you can change that out to different types of bombs that the drone will throw for you. So probably just another customizable option. We actually do get a short description for two other color chips, with the blue one, Run Speed Up, that states increases movement speed in Inkling or Octoling form, which is pretty huge. So that tells us right there that we can also be able to play with Inkling, not just an Octoling. So I really don't know how this character ties in, because we do hear Pearl say Sikkim 8, so we know this is Agent 8. Whether this is a new Agent 8 or the same one, are you allowed to be an Inkling or an Octoling now? Are they changing the story? I don't know. I feel like it kind of takes away from the significance from the Octo expansion if that was the case. We can see the green one, called Drone Splat Bomb state, allows the Pearl drone to use splat bombs. Multiple copies slightly reduces the required gauge. So it seems like you can double up on this perk, but it will take longer for you to actually be able to use it in game. Your gauge will be longer to fill up. But enough about the leveling up system, let's talk about the actual gameplay. We can see the Octoling actually ride in on the Pearl drone as she's hanging on to a handle, and she's holding her dualies in the other hand. And yep, you can see they're kind of based off of some type of dolphin or fish or something along those lines. In the back, we can see two giant factory machines encasing some type of objects in giant cube boxes. In the background, we get to see a little closer look as to what these could be. They seem to be random objects like a DJ table and also a mem cake that's stuck in this cube. Now, mem cakes were from Splatoon 2's Octo expansion, which were compressed memories that belong to the Kamabo Co's test subjects. And they're pretty much just compressed memories into little eraser objects. As you can see, it's other objects in here as well, not just mem cakes, as there's a giant stuffed octopus animal, and there's also a DJ table off to the right and some other things that you can make out if you squinted. Next up, we see a giant ink orb that's blocking our path forward, and it's forming some type of portal where it's launching out these ink fish towards the player that we have to take out. These seem to be different types of fish with ink bodies and a skeletal membrane. Now, the little fish on the left and right sides have some weird ink roots that are connecting to the ground and propelling them up into the air. Odds are we have to fend these things off, kind of like a mini salmon run mode, until eventually we can reach the core and break the portal that's making these things spawn in. You can also see tons of this black ink all over the ceiling and buckets of it covering the stage in little containment units, which we probably have to dodge and watch out for as we're going through this stage. You can also see little elevator lists that seem to be lifting old televisions. It's a little weird. We can see another scene of these skeletal fish moving across the ground, and if you look at their bodies, they almost look toy-like, almost like Legos if anything. So I wonder if these are like some type of toys that were made by whoever made these things. You can also see another black ink portal or spawner in the back left where lots of these are coming from. We then see our hero fighting them, and they seem to be spawning by the masses out of that portal, and that's probably what we have to do, is fend them off and make our way to the machine in order to shut it off or blow it up. Now, you can see these things attacking you straight after they come out of the portal. They are trying to take you out. This is very much like Salmon Run, but in an actual campaign mission. You can even see the Pearl drone locking on to some enemies off in the background, probably ready to throw a bomb at it. And you can pretty much glide with the Pearl drone. It looks like whenever you get up in the air, as we can see a boost ramp to the left that will probably allow you to go into a glider freefall. But we can also see the return of some more boxes, such as the orange ones that give you some goodies in the main campaign. You can also see points accumulating as you're defeating the fish enemies. The white points are from your Inkling or Octoling taking out the fish, and the purple 100 damage is probably coming from the Pearl Drone. I don't know if points is more of an aesthetic thing or if you need to add them up in order to buy gear or maybe a certain amount of points to finish the level, it's hard to say. You can see a glowing light tower off in the background as it has that same glowy lights that we saw on the outside of the tower building. And this is probably where you start the level, as you can see an elevator door at the bottom. And we even see scenes which looks like the start of the level where our character and weapons actually zap in kind of like a code inside of a computer. So everything has this digital look or vibe to it, including when we respawn or enter a level, you can see our bodies form digitally and our little Inkling or Octoling soul form into our bodies. Which makes me think maybe this is all taking place digitally. Maybe the main villain is some type of computer virus trying to take out Inkopolis by wiping out all the electronics and just corrupting the city in all of its televisions, electricity, all of it. You can also see in this stage we get a powered up suit as we have a giant antenna out of our ear. Our guns also have like these digital lights all around them with the dualies, which is really weird. And we also got like a digital suit around us like to protect us, whether this is a leveled up suit like you would get in the other campaigns by leveling up with either your helmets or just your different suits. You can see extra gameplay with us wearing these suits as well, where sometimes we'll have a visor and we'll just have all those like weird digital lines outside of our guns. So I do wonder what this means. Is it just more of a powered up version of our Inkling or Octoling that you can collect throughout the stages, like the shield power-up items and the other campaigns from the past Splatoon games, or is it something that we can level up with our Inkling or Octoling outside of each level and eventually become like this super powerhouse with the best gear possible? Just like the past campaigns, you can see the suitcase here, which means this probably is just like a shield and a level up for a character within the stage. And we can see a can, which is most likely a special you can pick up and use. And if you look closely, the can actually has a symbol of Marina. Right after this, we get a super quick scene showing the Octoling looks like they're entering or exiting a level as all this code is around them, and them themselves are also code as well. Now there's two more scenes to talk about before we wrap this up. Take a look at this machine that's pouring out this white goo. It looks an awfully like Commander Tartar's telephone mouth. Yeah, and this whole factory kind of resembles different things from that villain, including the tentacle-themed moving gears on the side of that telephone-shaped mouth. The final scene shows us one of the bosses, which is a giant multi-level cylinder hanging down from the ceiling with different faces hanging off the sides as they're all spinning in different directions. The moving and wiggling eyes and mouths of these weird faces also remind me of Commander Tartar a lot, so much so where I'm willing to bet that the main antagonist is Commander Tartar, but not only him, yeah, Marina. Remember the story of Splatoon 2? I'm talking about the main campaign. Yes, it was you and Marie trying to find out where the heck Callie went, and you find her and find out that she was brainwashed and working with DJ Octavio. And this was only because of the Splatfest results from Splatoon 1, where Callie actually lost to Marie in the final Splatfest. And with the results from the Splatoon 2 final Splatfest with Pearl versus Marina, we know that Pearl actually won as Team Chaos versus Marina's Team Order. So that's why Splatoon 3 was more based off of Chaos than the futuristic Order look we have in this DLC. So maybe a very similar thing happened to Marina, where she's being brainwashed by Tartar or someone else, and she's working for them currently. At the end of the Octo expansion, we never did see Tartar die. We just saw the giant statue kind of explode and fall into the ocean, still intact, so maybe Tartar is still in that statue. Something else that's interesting is the statue is still present out in the ocean on top of Hammerhead Bridge. Maybe he's still alive somewhere, or maybe uploaded himself into some type of computer program and is taking over the digital world or something along those lines. It's hard to say, or maybe there's just an evil computer just like there is an evil telephone. But either way, this boss battle looks absolutely insane, and we'll probably have to use the Pearl Drone in order to fly up and take out these faces individually. Then the trailer ends with some mysterious art like black ink stretching like roots that are corrupting some type of area. But yeah, it's definitely weird, definitely glitchy, like some type of program in a computer or something, or some type of digital world that's coming to a fall. Definitely let me know your theories and predictions as to what you think is going on within this trailer and this side order DLC for Splatoon 3, and let me know if I missed anything that you guys have noticed yourselves. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.